Hello, and welcome to We Live for Saturday, your favorite college football podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, and with me again, after a little hiatus, is your other co-host, John. John, you're back. Welcome back.
I'm back. Happy New Year. Yeah.
Happy New Year. It's 2026.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's been a little while. Crazy last couple months. Sorry for, not being able to be on over the last 2 months. It's just been was a very difficult work schedule. So, but we made it. I'm on the other side of it. I'm back. I'll be on more regularly now. Should be, back to our old schedule, and it'll be good now. I'm just happy to be back on and be able to talk ball. There's a lot I missed, a lot that I want to weigh in on. There's just so much has changed, and obviously there's still things going on, college football playoff and whatnot. So there's some good games, some surprises here and there, and and some things that weren't surprises that we kind of predicted. Talking about USCC. So here we go.
There are some things that we predicted that did in fact come true.
Yeah.
And last I checked, in the postseason now, I believe the Big Ten is 2-6. Or sorry, that's the SEC.
Yeah.
Big Ten is 9-4.
Yep.
And I believe the SEC is now, I want to say, like 3-7, but they're like 2-6 in games where they don't play each other.
Yeah.
2-6. I mean, you and I both thought that the SEC was gonna struggle a little bit in the postseason,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I don't think either one of us expected this. I didn't expect the bottom to fall out completely. Like, I knew the SEC was not as good. I didn't think it was as good as the Big Ten this year. But man, the Big Ten showed up to bowl season and was like, we're really gonna make a point.
I mean, it looks like not only the Big Ten, obviously mainly the Big Ten is making the biggest point, but look at the Big 12. Look at
Big
the
12
ACC.
too. Yeah.
I mean
the ACC has struggled mostly, other than Miami, but they do have Miami.
But I'm just saying, like, it's the most impressive conferences are. I mean, you would think the SEC would be a close second, but it is not.
No,
not
it's
even
not.
Close.
No, the Big 12 has actually been better than the SEC. You're not wrong.
Yep. So I think, man, again, if this narrative, if we hear in 2-3 months time, the recycled narrative of how strong and how good the SEC is and all this kind of stuff that we've been hearing for the last 20 plus years, I mean, how does the public not, lash out and even in an even larger scale than what they did this past year?
I mean, you're seeing it on social media.
Yeah.
And you're not just seeing it, and it's the domination throughout. That's the thing. The thing that people said all year, and really the last 2 years, is like, well, the Big Ten has some good teams at the top, but the SEC is far deeper. Look at the recruiting rankings. And what you and I have been trying to tell people forever is that the difference between the number 15 or 17 class and the number 23 or 27 class is just not that big.
No,
it's not.
No.
So, like, it comes down to coaching and developing talent and finding guys that, and recruiting the right guys that fit in your system and all that kind of stuff. And it just seems like the Big Ten right now has a better roster of coaches than the SEC does.
It's true.
And we've seen that when the conferences play each other. I mean, the SEC's lone victory in several games, I think, is Texas over Michigan.
That's it. Yeah.
And that was a Texas team that everybody thought should have been in the playoffs. So it really is not saying a lot that, they beat a true freshman Bryce Underwood in a bowl game. Okay.
That just lost their head coach under a ridiculous amount of drama with internal drama. So yeah, man, come on.
But I mean, everybody in the Big Ten just about, we'll get to the teams that didn't win, but just throughout, most of the teams won. Man, even Penn State won, and I did not see that coming.
Yep.
I thought, oh man, Clemson's going to Dabo's going to rally the troops. They're going to, no. Penn State flexed on them.
Yep.
Absolutely did. And anyone in the chat, please feel free to comment. We will, address what you're saying, and we're interested in what you have to say. We're going to talk about some moves in high profile moves in the portal, coaching moves, and then, but mostly we're going to get into these games. So if there's anything you specifically want us to address, let us know. Otherwise, we will assume you love what we're talking about and we'll proceed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really Kirk Herbstreit, there was a moment during the Rose Bowl, and Kirk Herbstreit said, these last few years in the playoff, the Big Ten has separated itself from the SEC. He said the SEC has gotten embarrassed on a regular basis.
Wow.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Wow.
Kirk Herbstreit, who spent 20 years shoving SEC propaganda down our throats as hard as he possibly could. Kirk Herbstreit, who advocated for an Alabama team to be put in with a loss over an undefeated ACC team in Florida State, who was great. Advocated for that Florida State, an undefeated power conference team, to be left out of the playoff so that he could shoehorn another SEC team in. Kirk Herbstreit had a conversation with Joey Galloway earlier this year where Joey Galloway said that he thought that the Big Ten was actually closer to the Big 12 than it was to the SEC. And you know what? Maybe he's right in the sense that the Big 12 might be better than the SEC. I mean,
facts.
I'm just saying.
Look at what's happening.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how funny would it be if in the next 5 years the SEC becomes the third best conference? It's not going to, because they have the money.
There's too much money behind them.
I mean, come on. But if the Big 12 is keeping it close and the Big 10 separates itself even further, I mean, come on, dude. It's embarrassing. Look, what's happening with the SEC is embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. It's really happening. This is not, a figment of anyone's imagination. Do not let ESPN or anybody of that ilk try to make you believe otherwise and gaslight you into thinking that somehow this is all just a fluke, or I don't know, opt-outs or we don't, bowl games don't matter, or blah 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 blah. All the usual stuff that they try to sell you on for the past 20 plus years. But now this is real, man. We're all seeing it on the field now, numerous years in a row. And it's time for people to have this come to Jesus level of acceptance of here's the new reality. And the new reality is the Big Ten is the best conference in college football, period.
Until proven otherwise.
Yeah, they just are.
Scooby in the chat says, "What's up, boys? Friend of the pod, Scooby. Scooby is our resident Wisconsin expert. Love having you. And hey, we can take a jumping off point right there. I can say congratulations, Scooby. It looks like Luke Fickell has found his next quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, and he comes from Old Dominion. His name is Colton Joseph. So congratulations on that, Scooby. It'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to the Big Ten. I know the Monarchs had a really good season, and he was the trigger man from that. So that'll be fun to check out as that happens. We of course wish him the worst on the field, but the best off the field. I hope he loves Madison.
And
hope he has a great time.
I hope
he's healthy. Yes. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he loves Madison. We'll talk about what happens when it's time to play for the Axe.
Yeah.
But good to see you. Good to see you always in the chat, my man. Yeah. So back to the dominance. I mean, let's go down the line and talk about, the Big Ten. We talked about the games that already happened, like the Gopher. Oh, David L in chat says that ODU quarterback ran plenty against IU. Yeah, no, I know that Old Dominion put up a fight against IU, actually.
Yep.
Which in retrospect looks really impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you have to love that. But yeah. Sorry, hold on. I gotta just make sure this is all where it's supposed to be.
Well,
okay, cool. So yeah, where we left off was talking. I think I discussed Penn State Clemson on the last one.
Yep.
Which again, I can't believe we don't have to go over it again, but I can't believe that Penn State beat Clemson. And then you go right down the line and Illinois beats Tennessee. Iowa takes it to Vanderbilt. Indiana wins, Oregon wins, and we have an all Big Ten semifinal game.
Yep.
So we'll talk about all of that. And also I think right off the bat, I just got to say it. My significant other comes from as many of you know, from a big Indiana family. So I was sitting with a bunch of Indiana fans during the Rose Bowl. And we won't go right into the breakdown of the Rose Bowl. We'll do the games kind of in order. But I got to say, congratulations. The dream that every Big Ten fan has, the dream that I've had my whole life, I know you have too.
Yeah.
Was to see your team win the Big Ten, go to the Rose Bowl, win the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Indiana Hoosiers, the formerly worst program in the history of college football, in major college football, is now a team that won the Big Ten and won the Rose Bowl. And so I think that means anything's possible, man. It's 2026. We live in a whole new world.
Yeah.
Reality is what we make of it, baby. Woo!
It's wild, man. It really is. And this is something that is unprecedented on a level that I don't think it's never been done. I don't know at any point in time in history where it has. I mean,
here's what I tweeted out. Urban Meyer,
mm-hmm.
Nick Saban, right?
Yeah.
You know, Woody, pick your guy. Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, whoever
Yeah.
of the great coaches of the last, we'll say from integration on.
Yeah.
Just as a stopping point.
Sure.
You could have given most of them. And I'm saying Nick, I tweeted out and I said Nick Saban and Urban Meyer could coach 100 years and they could never do what Curt Cignetti just did in 2 years.
Yeah.
He did it in 2 years. Nick Saban didn't win any titles at Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
And most people would have argued Michigan State was a far more successful team historically than Indiana.
It was.
Yeah. And has better in-state talent, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Curt Cignetti took a team with a composite recruiting ranking in the 70s. And he's poised to potentially win a national title. He's made it to the semifinal. I mean, we'll get to the Indiana stuff, but it is wild. And the fact that they didn't just win against Indiana or win against Alabama. They beat them like a redheaded stepchild.
It was ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. We'll get into all that. I'm excited to talk about the Rose Bowl. I'm excited to talk about I'm so excited to talk about the Orange Bowl as well.
Yep.
With Oregon and Texas Tech.
Yeah. Another shutout.
That was another, you know, these are the moments that you're seeing the Big Ten just become the conference that dominates.
Mm-hmm. And again, when everybody now can pay their players and work the transfer portal and, you know, whatever, play the system the way the SEC had been doing for 20 plus years behind, you know, under the table now
since the beginning of time.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But now it's like, it's so obvious. And so now that we're all playing by the same rules for the most part, I mean, not everybody, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see that parity is a real thing now. And teams like Indiana, teams like, I mean, in the SEC, Vanderbilt, you know, look at how far they've come. Like,
oh yeah,
historically worst program in the SEC now is like
they went 10-2 and were almost good enough to hang with Iowa.
Yeah, they weren't. And imagine Iowa in the SEC, dude. I said that somebody posted this earlier, and I agreed. It makes me want to vomit, but it's true. If Iowa had been in the SEC this year, Iowa, I think, would be a college football playoff team.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, like, let's assume that they had a reasonable schedule, right?
Sure.
Not like they had all of the 6 best teams or whatever.
Yeah.
But like assuming they had like half of that, like you normally would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Iowa would have been a college football playoff team in the SEC.
Yep.
So it's just fun to, when you hear lies long enough, you start to wonder if you're the crazy one.
Yep.
You know, you start to wonder, am I the lunatic in the asylum? And this SEC drumbeat has been going on literally since 2006.
Yep.
That's when it started. I believe that's when the big media deal started between the SEC and ESPN.
Yeah.
And they really started pushing this and down our throats. I remember back then, the sneaky thing they did, they said that the Big Ten was slow.
Yeah.
Remember that?
They went with that for like 10 years, dude.
They went with that for like 10 years until Urban Meyer had the fastest teams in college football.
Yep.
So it was like, they got away with it basically until Urban Meyer showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh, we can't say that anymore.
Yep.
Which, you know, I'll give credit to Urban for that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new world. And the fact that, and the SEC, and yes, I know that one SEC team got through, but that's only because they got to play a group of 5 team and then another SEC team.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've only beaten each other in this playoff.
Yep.
They haven't beaten anybody in a power conference.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's wild, is the lack of success for the SEC against all power conference foes. Because I thought the Big Ten would put the SEC in its place. I didn't know the rest of the conferences were going to do it too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, dude. It feels good. And like I said, like it'll feel even better if you start to see the narrative change amongst the national media. The lazy national media might actually have to do some work and look into some of these other teams on these other rosters and these other programs that they, have never seen fit, or worthy of covering onto any real extent. Now we need to do a little research. We need to look into more Big Ten teams. We need to look into more Big 12 teams. We need, instead of just going with the same teams from the SEC or just assuming that this team or that team, because of this coach or this program, has been historically this way or that way. Like that, the world has changed, man.
It's changed, and they have to acknowledge it.
They have to.
You have to acknowledge coaching track records and things like returning production and
development
all that kind of stuff. And pay attention to who's developing their talent and who isn't.
Yeah.
Because right now, coaching wise, the Big Ten is straight up developing better than the SEC is.
Absolutely.
The SEC is slightly better overall in the recruiting rankings, although nobody's better than Ohio State or Oregon.
Yeah. But
it's not on the field. You're seeing the Big Ten programs be the more coherent, developed, poised programs.
Yep. Absolutely.
And again, it's like if the difference between players is so small.
Yeah.
And you also are judging them when they're like 18 as recruits. So it's also, the art is Glenn Mason, former Minnesota head coach, said that of all the guys he ever worked with, the one who was the best skill in coaching was to be able to guess who was going to develop the most between like 18 and 21. And that the best he ever saw at that was Nick Saban. And who was Nick Saban's recruiting coordinator when he built that Bama dynasty? It was Curt Cignetti.
Yeah.
And that's why I knew he was going to be a success the moment they hired him. The moment they hired him. And we said so on this show. You can go back, check it out, have the receipts.
Yep.
So it's I don't think it's going to be controversial to say that Curt Cignetti is the best coach in college football anymore. I think that's just thing. But I'm ready to say that Curt Cignetti's the best college football coach of all time in the modern era. Modern era only. Like if we say that, maybe say just this century to start with. Because no one's the closest to what Bill Snyder has done is probably, what Curt Cignetti has done is probably either Bill Snyder at K-State or and it kills me to say this, Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And what they were able to do. And I just think what Curt Cignetti has done blows that away. Yeah. It blows it all the way out of the water.
Yeah.
Even if Indiana loses to Oregon, even if they lose, to come this far, to win the Big Ten, to win the Rose Bowl. And so you got Ryan Day, you've got Dan Lanning, you've got Curt Cignetti, Ferentz, now we got Matt Campbell in here. Now we got Kyle Whittingham in here. Yeah. Still have PJ Fleck, still have Brett Bielema, still have so many good coaches in this league. Yeah,
Pat Fitzgerald back at Michigan, back in the Big Ten.
Fitzgerald at Sparty now, and he's building a good. Yes, they're investing, and he's building a good staff.
Yep, Northwestern and we'll see.
Northwestern just hired Chip Kelly.
I know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. How do you feel about Northwestern hiring Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator?
I mean, it's a wild move. I never expected Northwestern of all places to hire Chip Kelly.
It's a swing, though.
It is. It's a huge swing, and I got to give him credit for that. And it could be incredibly successful and work out really great.
And you see, they're gonna get Jerry Neuheisel too.
Oh, geez,
as quarterbacks coach.
Wow, dude. This is what I'm saying, man. The Big Ten is stepping up its game. It's
truly
incredible.
Is.
And good for them. And I'm not saying all of this stuff. They're obviously college football. Not all of these people or these hires are guaranteed to work out.
No, half of them are going to work, and half of them aren't.
But it's still the fact that these kinds of moves are being made is a statement. And that's what it is. Like the Big Ten isn't screwing around anymore. They are toe to toe with what the SEC has been doing now in making big hires, bringing on big name coordinators and all that kind of stuff. And that's the way it's done, man. And the Big Ten is swinging its thing around, and as to like show off.
You can say dick.
You're right.
Kids can hear dick.
You're right. They're swinging their dick.
Reasonable. Yeah.
They're showing it and they're proud of it and they're making sure that it's everyone knows. And that's what we should be doing. That's what the Big Ten should be doing. Come on.
Here's what I want to know. Where's Tony Petitti reminding everybody at every moment, taking every interview?
Yep.
Where is Tony Petitti right now? He should be like a peacock strutting, taking victory laps around the media circle. Like what's he doing?
Because Greg Sankey would be if this was all different.
Greg Sankey said the SEC should get 7 playoff teams, and
like a month ago. Yeah,
and now they have 1 left.
Yep,
going into the semifinal.
Yep,
and it's not the one that anyone thought it was going to be.
Nope. No, man. I mean, it's wild, dude. It really is. I'm. It's good to see. I just hope, like I said, in a few months that we're not having to go through and having to talk about the national media being absolutely ridiculous and trying to gaslight the entire nation once again. So
you mean like we're in the twilight zone and be like, 10 SEC teams deserve to be ranked. Here's the thing. I don't think the non-ESPN media has the balls to do it anymore. I think we've broken them.
I hope not.
I have. And I saw guys who have towed the SEC line, like swinging their own Big Ten junk around, like Tom Fornelli, real chesty. And he's a guy who's towed the company line and said the SEC was deeper. But I don't think he's going to say that anymore.
Yeah.
Not his own team has beaten an SEC team 2 years in a row now.
Yep.
In the postseason. So I just don't think the narrative's real anymore.
It isn't. Well, it isn't. Yeah. So yeah, I hope.
I don't think you can pretend anymore.
Yeah.
And these. It's not like the SEC had way more opt-outs in any of these games. It's not that at all. Like teams showed up ready to play. And they just got run. Well,
and it's great. Like
the quarterback play is bad in the SEC. The quarterback play has been bad.
Really bad.
Like the development, not good. Like they're dependent on transfers throughout that league a lot. Like nobody's building their own QB room, it seems like there.
Well, it's also hilarious. There hasn't been a peep come out of Paul Feinbaum in how many days or even weeks?
Oh no. Yeah, he should be like apologizing to the world.
Yeah. Honestly, I hope he's packing his bags because he's promised.
Oh yeah, getting ready for that run for senator in Alabama.
Well, I mean, he said he was going to leave the country. That's what I'm hoping for. I know it's not.
Dude, I actually tweeted him and told him. I think I tagged you and I said that we would both be happy to help him pack his bags on his way out. He hasn't responded though. He hasn't taken me up on it. I was like, dude, I will drive down to Tennessee. I'm in Indiana right now. I'm like most of the way there.
I'll be there. I'll help out. I'll take a flight.
It'll be great.
A couple comments.
All right. Yeah. David in the chat says, I feel like the Big Ten needs to require a Power 4 as a non-conference game. I know what you're getting at, David, but I think the Big Ten has been ahead of the curve so long in scheduling. And I just don't know. Like, here's what I'll say. I'm not totally against it, but like, if you're Purdue right now, if you're Maryland right now, like, do you need that? Do you need to play a Power 4 team? Like, that makes it so much harder to get to a bowl and like to appeal to recruits and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not quite with you there, but like, I'm kind of agnostic about it at this point. Like, I don't want it, but it's not going to kill me if it happens. Minnesota plays a power conference team every year anyway, out of conference. So it doesn't really matter to me if it's a rule or not.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Do we need it? No, but again, I don't know if I'd be totally against it either. I think there's definitely like some exciting matchups or some things that you could put together. More or less like an annual thing, between certain conferences or certain teams, if you will. Yeah. Maybe bring back some old rivalries, like that would be kind of cool. I like that idea to bring back some more tradition and things like that between certain programs. Like I'd love to see Nebraska, Oklahoma more often. Maybe Nebraska wouldn't like that, but I would like to see that. I
don't think Nebraska would like that.
No, but you know what? But that's the kind of thought that I just things like that.
They'd play Colorado. They do that. They'd play them again.
Well, that would, yeah, there you go. So Nebraska, Colorado, that would be cool. Like, and maybe like change up some of those things. Maybe not like permanently, like forever, but like have like a 3 to 5 year series and then switch it up to somebody else afterwards. Things like that. That'd be cool.
I don't hate on that at all.
Yeah.
John Q in the chat, enjoyed the content all season. Have the sound down because I'm at work. John, we are all you in spirit. I love that. Listening to the pod on the sly, getting your work done, multitasking. You're our hero. Seriously. Well done. I'm very impressed by that. And, I'm not a big multitasker myself, John. I have a hard time focusing on more than one thing at a time.
Same.
So I kind of need to lock in to like really feel good about what I'm doing. So I'm always impressed by the people who can do it all. And he said, John goes on to say, some of your guys' preseason prognostications panned out. And I was like, they really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say, right, because Penn State is winning the national title. Going to win the national title. Oh, no? You're telling me that didn't work? Okay. Yeah. But it's true that a lot of our things panned out, especially about conference strength and about most of the Big Ten teams that have done really well and all that kind of stuff. So we were on the nose about a lot of stuff.
Well, I picked Oregon to win the national title.
You did, and they're live.
To be honest, I'm a little surprised we're there right now, but it could happen.
Oh, dude,
we'll see.
Oregon's got. I think the two best teams left are the Big Ten teams.
I wish, dude. I wish it was switched to like Indiana, Miami, and like Ole Miss and Oregon or something was playing right now or instead. But I know that's just the way it goes. But and that's not what the national media wants either. They don't want they want to see a Big Ten SEC matchup for sure. I'm sure.
Yeah,
that's how it's going to go. But
John Q, you make a great point. He says that on paper he would have picked Vandy over. I'll say I picked in my bowl pool. I picked Vandy, but I shouldn't have. Mm-mm. I should have known that Kirk Ferentz was going to kick up front. It was going to kick butt up front and just be dominant because he always almost is. Especially, and it's because he lost to a few SEC teams, but he only lost to the uber athletic ones, not like the regular athletic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I should have been smarter about that. I should have known that. I thought it was gonna be a close game, but Iowa, even though it was only a touchdown win, Iowa felt like they were in control of that game largely.
Yeah, they did.
Like Pavia had to rally a lot late to make that look, to make it any kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
Scooby in the chat. Wisconsin played that Power 4 outside team for a while. It's okay to do it, but if you get a schedule like we had the last 2 years, it can be detrimental to your program. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point, Scooby. Like when you have the tough schedule, when you have like the year when you have Ohio State and Oregon and Michigan on the schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't have to play an out of conference power conference team that year.
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be some leeway there, and that's why I'm okay because most of the Big Ten teams are going to play one every year.
Yeah.
So it's very few that aren't, and I know it's just people get mad because Indiana's one of the ones that isn't, and Signetti, it might be time to schedule some teams out of conference, buddy.
Yeah.
Now that you've won the league, I think you're safe. I think your job is safe. I think you can schedule some out of conference games that are a little tougher.
Yeah.
Max in the chat, good to see you. Max says, I'm fully pulling for Ole Miss now.
Boo.
Max, boo. Why? I mean, Ole Miss, I like that Ole Miss beat Georgia. Like I was rooting against Ole Miss against Georgia just because Georgia gets all the calls, and they did get all the calls in that game. And so Ole Miss was not just playing against Georgia, they were playing against the refs too, for real. And they outdid him. You know why? Because Gunnar Stockton is not that good. And what have we said all year? We said Gunnar Stockton's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
We said he's not a championship quarterback, and he's not. He's not.
Yeah. No, I can't support that, Max. I'm sorry, man. Can't. But I yeah, I get it, Max. You hate SIG. Life is better with Oregon. Okay, so if Ohio State isn't dominating the Big Ten, then it's like everyone else needs to. I mean, you know what though? I like it. That's the way it should be. We're not the SEC here, where we're just I know we're a Big Ten podcast, but like Big Ten fans should hate other Big Ten teams.
Yes,
so
I respect that. Yeah,
I do.
And
respect
I will say, here's the silver lining: if Ole Miss wins the title, Lane Kiffin will be despondent.
Yeah.
I mean, he might go into a deep depression. He might never come out of it. Are you kidding me? How stupid will he look if he abandons a team on its way to a national title?
Oh my God. Like, imagine those storylines, man.
If that happened.
Oh.
So that's the silver line. Now I still don't want Ole Miss. Is 4 out of 4 on that list for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But for me, I want everyone else to win before that. Yeah. I want the Big Ten teams to win, preferably. If not, I guess I can live with Miami winning. I don't want Ole Miss to win.
No,
we don't need that at all.
No, not at all.
And John Q says, "Oh, so many underdog teams won bowl games." Yeah, and that just shows you Vegas doesn't know what they're talking about.
No, more often than not, it seems
not
like.
Between conferences. In conference, I think because there are so many games in a season, I think the math starts to add up and they start to get better in conference at a certain point. But at the beginning of the year and out of conference, it's a craps game, man.
Yeah.
It's a craps game.
Those preseason win totals are more often than not a joke. So
they are. Yeah. I mean, dude, you or I could have funded our mortgage on our houses if we had just bet the house on Minnesota to go over every year.
Like the last 9 years, yeah.
Like the last 9 years, if you had just done that, if just been like just rolled it over,
yep.
I think you would have won like 7 out of 9.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But we also aren't about gambling because gambling mostly ruins lives. So that's what we'll say about it. Our bowl pools now. My bowl pool is just a $10 buy-in, so you don't need to worry about me. It's pretty low stakes, and I filled mine out pretty fast this year. Yeah. I'll be honest. I was more focused on Christmas shopping, but I'm actually doing pretty well, which is the funny part.
That's good. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And then we got Max saying, "Yeah, absolutely. I ain't no Big Ten fan. I'm an Ohio State fan." Yes. Absolutely. Yep. That's what.
Yeah, we aren't conference chanters. You know, we're not chanting SEC about the Big Ten. We don't do that.
We just want to promote the respect that the Big Ten deserves as far across the national.
I just want the media to give the Big Ten top to bottom the respect it deserves because it's the deepest and best league. It
exactly.
has the best teams and the best coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're not gonna address that.
No.
All right. Put user in timeout. Great. Yeah, guys, let's keep it reasonable in the chat.
Well, should we start talking about some of these games? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, okay, before we get into the games, I promise people we should talk about the Koi Parrish thing.
Yes.
Okay. So Koi Parrish, superstar Minnesota safety in the transfer portal, leaving Minnesota, likely at this point, it looks like likely going to Miami.
What about Ohio State? Probably
Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State wants him, man. That's what I'm reading. They don't want him.
Okay.
I think he thought they were going to want him.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Day was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. You know, like I know Caleb Downs is amazing, but you know they've got like 2 or 3 other guys that could possibly be just as good coming up.
I'm sure they got guys on the come up who aren't. They're not going to be Caleb Downs because he's a generational player.
No.
But he's, they got guys who are going to be good.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, Corey Heatherman's going to be there.
Yeah,
they must have had some kind of rapport, and which I get it. So, yeah, Max just confirmed Ohio State isn't pursuing him, not pursuing Chaz Coleman, not pursuing the best linebacker. Day is just fully giving.
Ryan Day is not giving up. He just was in the Big Ten title game. He just made a run at it. He'll be back. You'll be back and be tough next year. But yeah, but with the Koi Parrish thing, look. Does it suck to lose a guy with Koi's upside? Absolutely. It hurts.
Yeah.
The silver lining is that he didn't play as well as a sophomore as he did as a freshman.
Nowhere close.
I mean, it was not nearly the same level of player. He didn't seem dialed in from week to week.
Yeah.
You wonder if playing offense was too much for him to keep up with that and the defense and the special teams.
Yeah.
If he could. And look, we don't need to get into rumors about his personal life, but we will say there are rumors about his work ethic, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be good for him to be in a new place where he has a new challenge, because he, by all reports, was like a much harder worker as a freshman than he was as a sophomore, and the results kind of showed up on the field both ways.
Yeah. Well, and it showed up. Yeah, you saw the inconsistency on his play on the field. From one game to the next, even one quarter to the next. He showed up, and then all of a sudden there'd be a broken coverage, and he would just get beat, and it was frustrating to watch him this year. And
it was weird.
Yeah, and then he would do something amazing and come up with a pick, and you'd be like, oh wow, like there it is. But that inconsistency, man. And to be honest. And this is no hate, and this is not to really even try to diminish the loss of Coy for Minnesota. Like, it is no doubt a big loss. This is a very talented,
huge
super high upside player.
Potential NFL player.
Absolutely. So freak athlete, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So this isn't meant to diminish anything of what I'm about to say, but at the same time, as far as a position, we kept the better safety. Kerry Brown is the better safety. He's more consistent. He's more disciplined, in my opinion. And I think that I think in a way, losing Coy, and keeping a lot of the other key players like John Nestor, Anthony Smith, Maverick Baranowski. I'm forgetting somebody else here.
Carter Menz.
Carter Menz. Yes. Like, there are some players that frankly,
Aiden Gooseby.
Yeah, like as overall for the team and the defense as a whole, maintaining those core players are more important to me than keeping Coy. And I'm not, again, this is meant to diminish his impact, but I think I think we're still gonna be okay without Coy. I think there's still a lot of really talented players on the defense, and obviously this too can open up some of the finances to allocate towards hopefully maybe some pieces on the offensive side of the ball to give Drake some help.
Well, so that's the silver lining. And to your point, Nittany Nation, Minnesota's paying Coy 7 figures, and not only that, they're directing massive amounts of like NIL, like real NIL, to him. Like he's in local commercials, he's in local radio ads. They had a couple of the days. All of the cups that were sold in the stadium on game day, went to Coy's NIL. The cups had Coy's picture on them, and they went directly to Coy's NIL.
Yeah.
So Coy was making a solid 7 figures
easily. Yeah.
Like decent. Like I think probably I don't know exactly how much, but like I'm talking we're talking a couple in the neighborhood of a couple million or close to that.
Mm-hmm.
So losing him does open up that you can go get, some players.
Yeah.
And frankly, Minnesota, the silver lining is that, well, I think it hurts a lot to lose Coy. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's deep at safety. That's a position they're deep at.
Yeah.
With Gooseby and with Kerry Brown and with Darius Green and with some of the other guys, some of the guys that are coming up who are younger as well have shown some promise. So if you can go get a couple defensive tackles and a wide receiver, then we're in business.
Exactly.
Then we're really in business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Minnesota's going to have to do. They're going to have to go get some defensive tackles and probably a couple offensive linemen, like a couple tackles, couple defensive linemen who are both tackles, and a couple offensive linemen who can come in and start and make a difference. And I think it'll be easier to afford those guys now that they don't have Coy.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's see. John Q. Miami fans, SEC fans are generally insufferable. I mean, I know some good Miami fans. Shout out Miami Flow and Rock and Rant.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear what you're saying. They don't go to games. So they're only online, Miami fans, because they aren't at the games. They're online. There's it's a weird thing. So I don't know how to judge them as a fan base other than that, but it is weird for them to be so chesty when they can't fill their own stadium with fans.
Well, I wish they had one. I wish they had a stadium that was actually close to campus. That that sucks. That makes it hard. But
that makes it hard. It does. Yeah. It does. We know that.
Yeah. We do.
But it is weird they don't go more.
I understand.
Let's see. And Nittany Nation, Minnesota absolutely needs to spend for a big time wide receiver. And they're trying to get somebody really proven to come in and be the wide receiver 1 next year, or 1A and 1B with him and Jalen Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the goal.
Totally. I mean, Drake needs, if we can get Drake 2 solid targets, if Jalen Smith can be the guy that we think he can be, and if we can get one more guy who can be, like the Rashad Bateman, Tyler Johnson duo type of thing, then Drake can take off. I mean, he's got the skill, man. So he just needs some help, some targets downfield. And I think you're right. I think that'd be great. So that's what I'm hoping for, man. That would really be helpful. Yeah. And now we have Darius coming back officially too. So that's good.
Darius Taylor is officially coming back next year. So that's really exciting. If he can if Darius can, if we can have some depth around him at running back, which I think we will, because AJ Turner will be back from injury. They've got Ryan Estrada coming in as a true frost next year. And it looks like they're going to get a running back in the portal as well, potentially.
Yep.
So I think they'll have better depth around Darius next year. And then he won't have to have 30 touches a game. He can have like 15 or 20.
Yeah.
And maybe you can keep him a little healthier next year.
Yeah. Well,
but you gotta have you have to have at least 2 other running backs who are legit. And I think they will. Minnesota really got hit hard with injuries this year. And that just kind of happens some years at running back.
Yeah.
So I got to imagine next year it's unlikely we'll be hit as hard with injury in that room as we were this year. Excuse me.
Yeah.
John Q. Yeah, as far as Fleck, look, here's what I'll say. Fleck is going to stay at Minnesota unless he gets an NFL job or say Notre Dame comes open.
Yeah.
I think that's the job he has circled. He's a Catholic boy from the Birds of Chicago.
Yep.
So if there's something he has circled, I think it's that. But as other than that, I think PJ is going to be in Minnesota probably for a long time, unless maybe he does a Lane Kiffin takes us on a playoff run and then he leaves. And if he does, I'll salute him and tell him he's an idiot at the same time, and we'll move on. But in the meantime, I like PJ as coach. I think he does a good job. And Nittany, offensive line, Minnesota's probably going to try to portal a couple offensive linemen who can start.
Absolutely. Yeah, they need to.
That's where the money's going to go. I think offensive line and defensive tackle and wide receiver. I think those are the guys who are going to get paid the most.
Yeah.
Because those are the biggest, I think, needs that Minnesota has.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Should we talk about some of these games that the Big Ten won?
Let's do it.
All right. First up, we have a game that the Big Ten lost, since the last one we talked about was Penn State beating Clemson. This is number 16, USC 27, the TCU Horned Frogs 30. This was a final in overtime. And I got to say that once again, Lincoln Riley pissed this one away. Pissed it away. Absolutely, completely, positively pissed it away. I don't even know what to say anymore about it. And it wasn't one thing. It wasn't like there was this trick play that didn't work at the wrong time or whatever. But it's just like when they could run and he just threw it anyway.
Yeah.
And Jaden Mayava was good. 280 yards, 9.3 yards per attempt, 1 TD, but he threw 2 picks. And King Miller, had 100 yards on 25 carries. So it wasn't like, it wasn't crazy, but he was getting it done. I will say USC, man, the depth at wide receiver is always amazing.
It is.
I mean, they lost Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Lane didn't play. They didn't miss a beat. Tanook Hines came in, had 163 yards receiving with a long of 46, and other guys chipped in as well. So it's just, they pull these guys out of nowhere. Yeah. Jaden Richardson had a couple big grabs, including a touchdown. These guys they're impressive, but I felt like they could have leaned on him and maybe run a little more. And just, it's little things. It's the tackling. It's guys not setting an edge. It's, it's really frustrating to watch. I understand. And then he has the audacity to come out after the game and Lincoln Riley says, "Oh, there's the window after 4 years here. The window is just now opening at USC." Yeah. You know what Brady Quinn said to that? He said, "Well, it didn't take Kurt Signetti that long."
And you're at USC.
You're at USC, man. You don't get to complain about resources.
No.
You get to complain about your fans being not very loud, but you don't get to complain about resources. I mean, it was ridiculous. And, the turnovers and just all of it, man.
It's funny, man. You know, it really is. It's Lincoln Riley, and it's this.
I mean, it's 14-13 at half. They're up. Then they get the touchdown with the 2-point conversion in the third quarter. They go into the fourth quarter up 21-14 and get outscored 10-3, pushed into overtime. And then in overtime, they give up that ridiculous pass where the guy broke like 4 tackles because they were all trying to get the ball instead of tackling him. Just tackle him. The goal is to stop them from getting in the end zone. Yeah. You can't always just rip the ball out. I hate that. It drives me crazy. The first guy should be tackling always.
Yep. No. It's wild, man. I don't. This Lincoln Riley USC combination is, of course, incredible as far as recruiting goes and the talent on the field, phenomenal. But these continued seasons that we're seeing here of like these squandering games and lack of coaching, and honestly, coaching competence, which like technically he did take a step up from last year, this year.
Yes,
but
he did better.
But you still see it come in. It's like he's constantly fighting his own instincts, and like, and I think, I don't know if maybe
he cost them a chance to win that Notre Dame game.
They did, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like why can't he?
And he got out-coached by he got was it Bielema who coached circles around him this year? That was this year, right?
Yeah. Like it's just like, dude, you gotta stop, man. Like you're, and again, you're not in the Pac-12, you're not in the Big 12, you are in the Big 10 and running the ball, which you have had success doing now. And you have the offensive line this year to do it. Like, why aren't you going back and relying on that, man? Like, you have to control the clock. You have to understand that that's how you win games in this conference.
Mean, yeah, it was. Let's see. Well, it was pretty even, 33 rushing attempts to 30 passes, but like, it probably should have been 60-40 or 7, or 65-35 running the ball.
Yeah,
Jaden Mayava, he threw a couple picks, and like, does he throw those picks if you're not putting as much pressure on him as you are?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah. It was USC ends the year with a bad taste in their mouth. And I just think with Mayava next year, he's going to be expected. Lincoln Riley's going to be expected to make a real run.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't make a real run, if he doesn't make a playoff next year, it wouldn't surprise me if they cut bait and got rid of him. Which
they should. That should be the expectation at USC, and Lincoln Riley should have those kinds of expectations put on him. So yeah, if it doesn't happen this year in 2026, then when is it? If ever, So I think those questions need to be asked, and that pressure should be put on him at this point. So
yeah. In the chat, agree with Nittany Nation. Lincoln Riley needs to learn when to run the ball and not get too cute. Yeah. John Q said USC media interviewed multiple TCU players who said USC players were not showing fight and want to. And that's it. That's what it is. On that, there was no want to on the game-winning touchdown. There was no want to. There was no want to. They didn't want to hit. They didn't want to hit. Too often, USC recruits the guys who run the fastest and look the prettiest in shorts and a T-shirt, and they don't want to hit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to. And that's not going to win football games. You need guys who are full-out football players, not just track stars who can play ball a little bit.
Yeah.
You need guys who are football players first. Yes, and Nittany Nation, yes, USC did just get the #1 recruiting class. So to complain about resources is crazy.
That's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's Lincoln Riley, man. He's no one. If he doesn't win next year, and he's on a short lease. He better go like 10-2.
Yeah. Bare minimum.
Like bare minimum, Lincoln Riley, you better go 10-2. You have all the talent to do it. Jaden Mayava is although, do you see that their defensive coordinator, Danton Lynn, is bolting to go to Penn State?
I did not.
Yeah, so Lincoln Riley needs a new DC.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Superfan Sherry in the chat says the university, or in the chat, by that I mean just texted me, the University of Spoiled Children is what she calls USC. That's not my words. Not my words. That's Superfan Sherry. Just saying. That's what she said about it. Yeah, talking trash down at halftime. USC players were. John Q, I agree. That's ridiculous. And yeah, it's fair to question Lincoln Riley right now.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
He's in a spot where it is totally fair to question him. And I think he deserves to be on a hot seat. And I'm not big on the hot seat, but he deserves to be on a hot seat going into next year.
Yeah.
And if he can't deliver at least a playoff run next year, because if you're, let's be real with the USC brand, if you go 10-2, they're going to put you in the playoff.
Yep.
So if he can't at least do that, then it's probably time for him to go and for them to start over and try again with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to next up. We had the Illinois Fighting Illini 30, the Tennessee Volunteers 28. Bielema just keeps doing it, man. He just gets out. He grits out these wins. Luke Altmaier played great. I mean, you got to love Luke Altmaier. 20 of 33, just under 200 yards, only 6 yards per attempt, but 1 TD, no picks, didn't make any mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
There was one ill-fated attempt giving Hank Beatty a pass, which, you do that in a bowl game. Let your best receiver take a shot at throwing the ball. It didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But, Aiden Lafferty ran well. Khalil Valentine ran well. Luke Altmaier ran well. They got over 220 yards rushing. And then they spread it out. Luke Altmaier spread it out to a bunch of different receivers in the passing game. Looks like 7 different guys caught balls
Mm-hmm.
for Illinois. And they gritted it out, man. Little bit after little bit. It was 10-3 Illinois at half. Illinois led going into the fourth quarter. Tennessee made a run late, but Illinois absolutely got the job done. And you got to give it up for Brett Bielema. That's a 9-win season. And I think 19 wins in 2 years is the best run anyone's had at Illinois, I want to say, since like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really impressive. You got to give it up for Bielema.
I mean, honestly, yeah, dude. I mean, he belongs in the Big Ten. He's a great hire, and I stand by that. And again, yeah, he has some clunkers here and there. He loses games he shouldn't every once in a while. But like, that program is now competitive, and it's solid.
And they weren't competitive before.
And it is solidly in the middle of the Big Ten.
Yes.
And sometimes, even above average of above the middle. But like,
yeah, they won 10 games last year.
Yep. So like, it's a great hire still. The fact that, again, another Big Ten team that probably, was not being favored, was not being looked at to win this game, ended up pulling it out. And that goes to coaching. Tennessee has probably had more talent on the field, technically. But
do they, though? Or do they just have better recruiting rankings, John?
Well, there you go. Well, that's what according to the recruiting rankings, let me say that preface it like that.
Let's look at the NFL draft. I'm not sure.
You're right.
And like also if you look at the all conference teams, I don't know. And here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Is Joey Aguilar as good as Luke Altmaier? No, he's not.
No.
He's not.
Mm-mm.
I mean, he's not bad.
He could get better, but right now
I think
Luke
he's
Altmaier.
a senior. I think he's
he is. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he had 121 yards passing.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, not great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not great, Bob.
Looks like Jacob in Depines YT says he's a Tennessee fan.
Welcome, Jacob.
Yeah. Love that. And that game was pretty good. At least we kept it close, but man, we're ready for Jim Knowles, man. Our defense needs work. Yeah. Jim Knowles, great addition. And we'll should be able to help out a lot for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Just remember with Jim Knowles, year 1 is going to be up and down.
Yeah.
Because it takes really till the second year. You look at Oklahoma State, you look at Ohio State, and obviously he didn't get the second year at Penn State. But if you look at his other stops, they get better in year 1, but they get way better in year 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's something you can look forward to. But yeah, Jacob and DePines, thank you so much please subscribe if you are not to the channel. We cover all 18 Big Ten teams, so we can be your stop for all things Big Ten.
Heck yeah.
John Q says Burt is the Kirk Ferentz of PJ Flex, and I think that's definitely a compliment, but I don't know if I'd phrase it that way, but that's an interesting way to look at it for sure.
Well, he's like the solid, consistent.
He's basically saying if PJ Fleck was a little more consistent, but I don't know. PJ's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
Yeah, and Nittany Nation makes a good point. Just because that guy's a 3-star athlete, that sometimes means they just weren't covered as much by and weren't at camps and national stuff, and were just in their local stuff. And so these guys are just as big a freak athletes. They just weren't covered to the same extent.
It's true.
So yeah, so it'll be great to see all that. It was great for Illinois to pull that out. I mean, they were not favored, but I had a feeling they were going to win, and they got the job done. And I just, give it up. As long as Bielema is at Illinois, they're going to be competitive.
Yes, they are.
They're going to be a tough out, and on the right year with the right quarter, they're going to be a team that can make a playoff run.
Yep.
It hasn't happened yet. Hasn't quite happened yet, but they're right there. And it'll be interesting to see whom they go to now that Luke Altmaier is moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Because Altmaier's been so great for them the last couple of years, especially.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Should we get into, first up, let's talk about the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Texas 40, number 13, Texas 41, number 18, Michigan 27. Look, Michigan put up a fight here. They put up 373 yards of total offense, and to Texas's 456. So they weren't blown out of the water offensively or anything. They put up a fight. They just turned the ball over 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Texas won by 2 scores, and it was 3 turnovers to 1, so there was a 2 turnover differential. Michigan had the time of possession, but also they got outrushed. They got outrushed by Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. Michigan had a decent 174 yards rushing, but Texas had 235 on over 7 yards per carry. So, Michigan's just not quite there yet. I think Sharon Moore was a bad coach. I think we can say that now that he's gone. I don't think he was good. I don't think he put you in a position to succeed. I think all the turmoil at Michigan, honestly, with everything that's happened in Ann Arbor the last 6 weeks, I'm impressed that Michigan put up as much a fight as they did.
Yeah.
Same. Credit to Biff Poggi for having those guys ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I mean, all the other off-field stuff that happened, I don't think, even without that, I just don't think Sharon Moore was a good coach. I never did. No. I never thought it was a great hire. So I think inevitably, I think this is just it's good for Michigan in the long run, anyways, for more reasons than obviously the other things that have caused the most drama behind the scenes. So yeah, I think this is a good move. And Kyle Whittingham, man.
Kyle Whittingham,
come on.
I mean, all he does is win. And he's won with dual threat quarterbacks who are like Bryce Underwood.
Yep.
So I think the fact that you've got Kyle Whittingham, a guy who's used to that style of quarterback, knows how to game plan around him. I hate to say it, man, but I think Michigan's gonna be a playoff contender right away next year.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see what they get at receiver. We'll see what they get at receiver in the portal,
which they need to. Yeah, I mean they have to. Like they've been struggling mightily in that position. But
for a long time,
I was looking forward to. I was like, oh man, maybe we can bring the jug home. And now I'm like, Kyle Whittingham is there, and I'm like, oh.
I know, dude. I mean, we'll still have a chance. It's in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We'll have a chance. It's at home.
True. We might. But yeah, man.
But no, it's not. It's not like we get to play Sharon Moore. I was hoping for another crack at Sharon Moore.
Me too. Yeah. I was like, oh man, like I honestly, if Sharon Moore was still there, I'd be like, I think we win. I really do.
Oh yeah.
But, yep. Oh well.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Such is life. Let's see. Yeah, no one should hire Biff Poggi. He failed at Charlotte. Come on, Nittany Nation. Be real. No one's hiring Biff Poggi to be their head coach. And yes, John Q, we know you don't like Kirk Ferentz. Don't worry about it. But even if you do, it's okay. I mean, it would hurt me personally because I don't like him. But like, we get it. He's a great coach. We get why we get why Iowa fans, at least the smart ones, love him.
Absolutely.
But I also get why they don't, because we won games kind of like Iowa this year, and it wasn't that much fun.
It was
excruciating. Yeah. So yeah. I get why Iowa fans are frustrated in a way that I didn't before this year.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Iowa, I mean, once again, it was only 9 wins. Iowa had, college football playoff aspirations. So it's not what they were hoping for, but still got the job done, were impressive in the bowl. You got to give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah. Well, when you're playing the best conference in college football, man, it's hard.
Exactly. All right. Next up, we have, so that was the ReliaQuest Bowl. Next up, we had the Las Vegas Bowl, and number 15 Utah Utes smacked the Nebraska Cornhuskers 44-22.
Yeah.
And Nebraska scored late too, so like it shouldn't have looked even that good.
Started out fast though. Started out 14 points in the first quarter, man. I mean,
14. They were up 14-7, and then the second quarter they got outscored 17-0, and then in the third quarter they got outscored 14-0.
Yeah,
and then they cried uncle. Is what they did, and then Utah took their feet off the gas, and Nebraska managed a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but by then it was too little, too late. So. Yeah, they played okay. They played well in the first and fourth quarter, but there's 4 quarters in this game. Nebraska is kind of the thing. Matt Rule. Well, we'll talk about Matt Rule in a second. Let's say TJ Lateef is not it. He's not it.
No.
15 for 28, 182 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick, 54.5 QBR. He's not it. And, Mekhi Nelson did a good job at running back, I thought. But he also led the team in receiving, which isn't great. That's your running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Nebraska really needs to figure things out at receiver. And they just got to be tougher, man. They just get pushed around. Matt Rule has not recruited tough enough guys. He needs to go into the portal. Matt Rule does. And he needs to up front and throughout his roster, he needs to get tougher, more physical football players. Guys who are willing to hit, guys who are willing to go, because it seems like if you punch Nebraska in the face enough times, they will quit. They'll quit.
They need more Nash Hotmakers.
Take their ball and go home.
Just find as many Nash Hotmaker.
Nash Hotmakers as possible.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't.
He inherited him though. He didn't recruit him.
But that's what I'm saying. But take that prototype, and that's the kind of guys you need on your team, man.
Those guys don't grow on trees though.
No. But with the mentality, even if they're not as physically gifted, you need guys that are willing to do that, and that's what I mean. Well, Iowa does get the gifted guys as well, but that's their mentality in Iowa
for sure. I don't know what else to say about this game. I mean, it was just a lot of Nebraska being really not tough.
I mean, Devin Dampier was pretty darn good. I mean,
he was great. He was great. He's really good. I mean, we'll talk about it. 19 for 31, over 300 yards passing, 10 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, no picks, a QBR of 96.2. Yeah. And he had 148 yards rushing on almost 8 yards rush with five combined TDs. 5.
He's a one-man wrecking crew, dude.
He's crazy. What a good player.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
man.
He's not a great passer either. And that's why I think and still they get this out of him. And that's why I think Kyle Whittingham and, with Bryce Underwood. Underwood might be like the difference between Justin Fields at Georgia when he was a freshman to him at Ohio State as a sophomore.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if Bryce Underwood with Kyle Whittingham just becomes an instant Heisman contender.
I could see it.
Yeah. And they're going to be tough on defense because Kyle Whittingham plays FU Big Ten style football.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying for years now that Utah, out of any team, when we were talking about expansion team lists and what have you, like Utah, as far as stylistically, Utah is a Big Ten team because of Kyle Whittingham. That's how they play, and that's how it's going to be. And so I think Michigan is the perfect fit for what Kyle Whittingham does. Yeah. So yeah, man,
I agree.
But
all right.
Oh, no, I just want to say, but with the one more thing on here on Nebraska though is I know that obviously Husker fans are disappointed. They still though you had a winning record. Matt Rule has taken
7-6 though. Again, that's rough.
I know, but it's not 5-7.
No.
Or 3-9 or 4-8. So I guess I'm trying to find a silver lining here, but I think.
Schedule gets a lot harder next year too for Nebraska. Well, gets a lot harder.
My question is yes, okay, Matt Rule, more disciplined team. you see more of a direction that he's bringing this program, but he lacks, or at least him and his staff seem to lack like actual. Is it development or is it assessment, talent assessment?
I feel like
What
it's
do
a
you think
little
it
bit
is?
of both, isn't it?
Because Dylan Raiola, I'm sorry,
Didn't
I know
develop.
that not
like
either
he should have.
didn't develop, but I also
No.
just don't think he was that good. I don't think he is.
You think he was just overrated to start with?
I think so.
Okay, that's fair.
But I also think it could be. I think you're right. It could be a little bit of both. Is like maybe they didn't develop him as much either. But I don't know, man. I
mean, it's telling that Rule fired his defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And his offensive line coach, and he said we need to get tougher.
Yeah.
You know, so at least he knows. He knows what the problem is.
Yeah.
It's can he fix it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, on the plus side for him, he doesn't have to play Minnesota next year, so you don't have to worry about that loss.
It's true. It's true.
All right, should we move on and talk about the playoff?
Yep.
All right, first up in the chat, John Q wanted Biff Poggi for a year. Yeah, I think you're doing better with Kyle Whittingham. And yes, Nittany Nation, Iowa is the only school that can average a decent amount of points per game without having any wide receivers who are any good. I know Vander Z was all right in the bowl game, but like he wasn't great. It wasn't anything that overly impressive. It wasn't like Gronowski suddenly, was lighting it up or anything.
You just need to realize, just remember, everybody, Kirk Ferentz made a deal with the devil. He did. That's really what this is.
He will have his pound of flesh.
Yes.
Yeah. Nittany Nation. Matt Rule is officially on fraud alert. He lost to 3 interim head coaches this year. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Matt Rule lost to 3 interims. That's rough. That's your lack of culture there. That's your lack of like buy-in from the players. I feel like. Yeah. Because like that shouldn't be happening. They should have won some of those games for sure.
Yeah.
And then John Q, does Nebby have enough NIL money? Yeah, dude. Nebraska has NIL money, man. That's not the problem. Nebraska has money. They have money. They have more money than a lot of teams. They just haven't been spending it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yep. That's the thing. It's not for lack of funds in Lincoln. And that's never been the problem. And it's never been stars on the team either. Like they've been getting, solid recruits and 4 stars, 5 stars, what have you. They just haven't turned out to be much. So
yeah.
Yep.
John Q says Utah gets some homegrown Polynesian players. Can Whittingham get those guys to go to Ann Arbor? Well, that's a question. Whittingham will have to get some of those guys, but he'll also have to recruit differently than he has. He's used to recruiting on the West Coast. He's going to have to recruit in the Midwest and on the East Coast and in the South. And, it's Michigan. He's going to have to recruit nationally. But I think Whittingham can do it, man. He's been a great coach. He's done a really good job recruiting to his system. I think with enhanced resources, he'll do a really good job in Ann Arbor. And yes, I agree, Nittany Nation. Nebraska isn't a sneaky, terrible place recruiting-wise.
Yeah.
Like worse than people complain about where we are, but like it's honestly significantly worse where they are. So that doesn't help either.
Well, and sure. I think after they left the Big 12, they lost their ability to recruit in Texas. Like at least as
and they depended on that. Nebraska depended on recruiting Texas and Oklahoma and to some extent California.
Yep.
And when they lost that ability to go down into Texas and Oklahoma, that really hurt them a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, I that's always going to be a problem for them. They have to figure out a way to overcome that in the modern era of college football. Mm-hmm. But now it's more nationalized than ever, so you should be able to if you have a coach who's smart.
Yeah, technically, I agree. I agree with that. That shouldn't be an issue. But
awesome.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's talk about the playoffs.
Let's do it.
We've got to be the only podcast that waited 68 minutes to talk about the playoff games. But next time we'll lead off with the playoffs. But we wanted to get through those bowl games because all the games matter, baby.
That's right.
All
on this podcast,
matter.
Every Big Ten team matters.
Yes. And we wanted to talk about some of that off the field stuff and, dance in the SEC. And that's all important too.
Which we're going to continue to do right about now.
Oh, we are going to continue to we're going to make fun of the SEC the whole offseason. I mean, they embarrassed themselves on the national stage in the most, 2-6. Yeah. 2-6. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. And like one of those wins was over Tulane. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so just saying. We had the Capital One Orange Bowl, number 5, 13-1 Oregon, 23. Number 4, 12-2 Texas Tech, 0. You get nothing. Nothing. Texas Tech did not score in this game. Texas Tech had 80 yards at halftime. John, 80 at half. That's brutal. I mean, let's just talk about. I wrote a poem. I'm going to recite it now. This is Texas Tech, and this is a poem that is just me saying what they did on all of their possessions for the whole game. First quarter, punt. Second quarter, interception, missed field goal, fumble, punt. Third quarter, punt, fumble, loss on downs, turnover on downs. Fourth quarter, interception, downs, end of game.
Beautiful.
I mean, Oregon, like, you talk about a defensive performance for the ages. Texas Tech they somehow managed just over 200 yards, but they didn't score. So they moved the ball a little bit at times, but when they got anywhere near the end zone, Oregon just shut the door and dominated. And you got to give a lot of credit on that weird, like, interception-y thing that happened where the Baron Morton had back and the Oregon offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Uiagalelei, like, reaches out and, like, grabs his arm and then somehow gets the ball too without it hitting the ground and ran with it. I believe that was Uiagalelei. And then Brandon Finney had a fumble recovery and 2 interceptions. Count them, 2. Oregon, not a great offensive day. They couldn't run the ball on Texas Tech at all. Texas Tech has a really good defensive line, a great defensive front.
Yeah.
But Dante Moore still threw for 234 yards, 7 yards per attempt, no TDs and 1 pick. But, like, it was enough. It was enough on a day when the Oregon defense just absolutely shut the door. I don't know what to say, man. In a playoff spot like that, like, I thought Oregon was going to win because I don't think Baron Morton is a good quarterback for Texas Tech. And he didn't play well. But Oregon didn't give him a chance to play well.
Yeah, exactly.
They harassed him all day. He was not, they harassed him all day. They sacked him 4 times, had 7 tackles for loss. They got the job done. Texas Tech never looked comfortable offensively once the entire game.
No. And even though, and again, Oregon didn't really put up points until the second half, but, like, the fact that Texas Tech they couldn't get anything moving at all. And they looked just totally inept offensively. Look, man, Oregon has its issues. There's definitely some problems here. I think that I was expecting them to run the ball a little bit better, even though Texas Tech has a fantastic defense, no doubt.
They do have a great, especially the defensive line. I mean, it's like $2 million for each of those starters.
But you're looking at Jordan Davison and Noah Whittingham, who are incredible elite running backs, and the fact that they were not able to put up, more than 64 yards is, I know that it wasn't.
Whittington and Davison could not get going, really.
Yeah, and I expected that to kind of eventually, open up a little bit, but it didn't. It really just it didn't. So no. I'm a little surprised at that. That's definitely worrisome facing Indiana.
So you need to run the ball against Indiana to have a chance.
Yeah, so that's concerning, but we'll see. But Texas Tech, man, they were just outclassed, dude. They just were. Yeah. And you saw it. You saw the talent. They hung in for a half. And then you saw the talent come through with Oregon, and that's what won the game here. So, yeah.
Did you notice in the second half that Dante Moore was limping a little bit?
I did.
I hope he's okay. I mean, he's got he's got a little bit of time to get ready, a little more than a normal week off.
Yeah.
So I hope he's, ready to be 100%.
I hope so. Yeah.
Because he played well, but it wasn't his absolute best game. But again, he clearly wasn't 100% either.
Yeah, if he loses any kind of mobility too, not that he's like a true dual threat quarterback, but like he can move when he wants to. But if he can't, yeah, that takes away another portion of that offense. So I hope that he's okay, and hopefully he can show up healthy against Indiana, and we can see a good game between two amazing quarterbacks.
Yep, absolutely agree about that. I mean, you got to give Dan Lanning credit, man. Oregon has just gotten better and better and better as the year's gone on.
Yep, absolutely.
And yeah, that loss to Indiana hurt, but they just turned right around and have gotten the job done since then.
Yep.
All right. Should we talk about the Big Ten's one pitfall here in the playoffs?
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. We had the number 10 Miami Hurricanes, 12-2 Miami Hurricanes, 24. The number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, 14. This was, I don't know what to say, man. You know what Ohio State looked like? They looked like it was September.
Yeah.
They looked like this was an out-of-conference game, and they're just trying to get right, and they're saving it up for a big game that's coming up. And it's like, no, Ohio State, this was the game. This was it. And they had the long layoff, and I know a lot of people are going to blame the rest, but the rest didn't hurt Indiana. Indiana had just as long a layoff. In fact, longer one day than Ohio State did. And they looked just fine. So I felt like there was a lack of effort there. And when Julian Sayin threw the pick six, down 7-0, and he throws the pick six, and it felt like you just deflated Ohio State like a balloon. Like they just seemed discombobulated. And on that play, it was, yes, Julian Sayin threw it without looking, but Jeremiah Smith missed the block. You got to block. And if you can't block the defender, you have to tackle him. Because you cannot let a guy go get a pick six like that. You can't let it happen. And so as great as Julian Sayin is, we've done nothing but praise Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith all year. Nothing but.
Yep.
They really let their team down in that moment, both of them.
Yeah.
And you got to get Ryan Day on the play calling. And what was up with Ryan Day? Okay. Julian Sayin was running for his life back there.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
That Miami defensive front was dominant. And why weren't you shifting the pocket and not letting Miami know where Julian? Instead, they're just doing the straight drop back. And Miami knows where Julian Sayin is going to be every snap. And so they're all teeing off on the pass rush every snap on a passing down. And I'm just thinking, run some play fakes, do some shorter passes, move the pocket so that Miami doesn't know where he's going to be every time, because he's not the most mobile quarterback.
No.
That's the only key. And it just felt like a bad game plan from Ryan Day. He didn't set up Julian Sayin to succeed by moving him in space and getting him to spots where he could throw from and have success. I just feel like Ryan Day really, really let them down with some of the play calling.
Well, and we talked about it all season, and of course, more often than not, it was like, well, he doesn't need to run the ball because he's got this amazing pass offense where he can throw it to Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, name 5 other Ohio State receivers, even ones that aren't even on the field, that are going to come down with the ball and look amazing. But that rush game, that running was just, sorry, the running off. God damn, it's 3 days away from me being off of this tour. I'm still can't.
You're
talk.
all right, man. You're all right. You're a little rusty, or shake it off.
Oh, man.
Like Ohio State in the first half. You just got to shake it off.
I really am right now. Sorry, everybody.
You're good.
That rushing attack is just not as good as it should be. And they have the talent. I do think Bo Jackson is an elite running back. CJ Donaldson is a solid running back, but they, for whatever reason, all year have looked more shaky there than they should, in my opinion. And it seemed like
they ran for 45 yards on 24 carries.
And it's just, that's not okay.
Woof. No, it's not. Their offensive line wasn't good enough either. No, that's the other problem they have.
And even as Ohio State,
And they did have an injury and a new right guard, but like you're Ohio State, you should be able to absorb one injury.
Exactly. And if you're Ohio State, like in this modern era of college football, even as Ohio State, you have to be able to have a balanced offense. And if you can only do one thing really well, that's not going to cut it when you get to this level. Once you get to the playoffs, that's not how it works. And even for Ohio State. So I think the fact that they didn't work on the running game as much as they should have all season, because we talked about it. We talked about it on a couple occasions. We were like, oh, like, when are we going to see the rushing attack? When are we going to see this? And then like there was one or two games here and there, but it was usually against weaker opponents that they looked fantastic. But like you never saw it fully come out and come to fruition in the way that you wanted to see it. Like like last year, so
right.
I don't know, man. I think that's definitely the offensive line, their run blocking and their rushing attack next year needs to be addressed in a big way. Something needs to change there because it's not going to be good enough with just throwing the ball, obviously, when you get to this point. And as always, Ohio State expects to win national titles, and that will be the expectation again.
And they should have won, and they should have made a run to the national title this year.
Absolutely.
There's no excuse. They had the players at every other position, and they got out game plan twice, 2 games in a row, and their offensive line wasn't good enough 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
And they got to fix that for next year.
Yep.
And I saw Max complaining to us about Phillip Daniels like it's our fault. You poached him from us, you jerk. Maybe it was a missed evaluation on your part. It's not our problem, Max.
Give him back. We'll take him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if PJ would actually.
Well, but I would. I mean,
I would, but I don't think
PJ back on the offensive line.
I don't think PJ would take him back. I don't see that.
I know.
All right, let's look at a couple comments in the chat here. John Q. If Texas Tech has an above average Power 4 starting QB, are they? I still don't think they're winning a national title.
No.
I don't think their skill position players are good enough.
Their defense is, but I don't think
their defense is, but just the rest of the offense is not.
Yeah.
And their offensive line is only average too. Like I just don't think they're there.
Yeah.
Jericho Tombstone says, which school do you think Drew Mestamaker will play ball at? It looks like he's going to go to Oklahoma State is what I'm seeing.
Oh.
He's going to follow his offensive coordinator from North Texas to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
So that makes a lot of sense. And, I think that he'll probably be successful there.
Yeah.
John Q. The Tech offense looked like the opening of the old Benny Hill TV show. Yeah, it was rough. It was, and credit to Oregon for making it look rough.
Yeah.
Credit to Oregon for making them look like that. Nittany Nation, the stat of teams struggling up by is deceiving. Or Arizona and Boise State were both 2 touchdown underdogs. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Ohio State didn't lose just because they had the long layoff. They lost because their offensive line didn't get it done and because Ryan Day didn't have a good enough offensive game plan. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what it came down to. Those 2 things more than anything. John Q. Lanning can't keep going for it at 4th down. John Q. I disagree. Go for it on 4th down. The math says go for it. If it's 4th and 5 or fewer, you should go for it. And you're on the other side of the 50. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
PJ.
That's what the math. I know the math doesn't say, or I know that coaches don't do it, but that's what the math says. Go for it. So I'm for Lanning. I'm like, good for you, man. Go. You should be going for it as much as you are. I wish PJ went for it as often as Dan Lanning does.
Seriously.
Like he's gotten better, but I wish he did it more.
Yep. Same.
All right. So, friend of the former co-host and friend of the pod, Super Dom, also known as Dom the Rev to you on the podcast. I do not understand why all other teams on buys in the college football playoff do not simply win by 35. It seems to be a good strategy. That's as close as I can get to gloating as an IU fan. I am sweating Oregon. That's good, Dom. I like that.
Yeah.
Do not simply win by 35. I mean, it seems like a good game plan to me. I find no holes in that argument. No, I can't do it. I can't poke any holes in it. Here's what I'll say about you sweating Oregon, Dom. Indiana was the worst program in the Big Ten. And in 2 years, you've become the best program in the Big Ten. You won the Big Ten. You went undefeated. You won the Heisman. And you won the Rose Bowl. That's the end of the movie. And I'm not saying you're not going to win a national title. You could win a national title. I'm saying, does it even matter? because you've already done all the things.
Yeah.
So like to me, like, yes, would it be cool to win a national title? Absolutely. That'd be amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, it'd be really special, something for eternity. But like Indiana, this season will echo into eternity in Indiana
no matter
lore
what.
and in college football lore forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most impressive turnaround anyone's ever pulled in the history of the sport.
Well, of any sport, is it? Like, I mean, like, it's got to be up there. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know the whole history of the Premier League.
I know, of course, but I'm just saying, like, it's got to be on that level.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's insane.
It's wild. So if I were you, I would go into the Oregon game thinking like you're like the hero of the movie when he's been through like faced death and conquered. Like, what are you scared of at this point?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that can happen? You can lose. Okay. They can't take the Big Ten title and the Rose Bowl championship away from you.
Or a Heisman Trophy winner.
Or the Heisman Trophy. They can't take any of that stuff away from you. And now Indiana's recruiting off all that stuff.
Yep.
So, like, yeah, good luck. I hope you beat Oregon, but I feel like it's all gravy, man.
Yep.
I feel like it's all gravy at this point.
I would kill to be in that position.
I'd kill to be where Indiana's in right now. Yeah. I would drown a bathtub full of puppies, and I love dogs, man. Love dogs. And I would really and truly like.
Even if someone told me right now we will lose to Oregon. But
okay, full disclosure, I would not drown a bathtub of puppies for any reason. I would not, couldn't do it. I'd be too sad. But the point is, I would walk over broken glass and hot coals. Let's put it like that.
Sure.
That's better. I would walk over all kinds of broken glass, football fields full of broken glass to win the Big Ten and be at the and then go to the Rose Bowl and win it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the Atlanta Braves reached the World Series in 1991 after being the worst team in Major League Baseball the year before. There you
go.
Yeah. So there you go.
And that was 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does not happen often at all.
Yeah. It's like if Lance Armstrong hadn't been doing steroids.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. It's like if Lance Armstrong had been playing it clean. All right. John.
Speaking of Indiana.
The Miami run blocking is next level. Yeah, John, it was really impressive. Yeah. I was surprised at how hard. That's a good point. Ohio State had a hard time stopping the run, and that shocked me.
Yeah.
Because they've been lights out against the run the whole rest of the year. Chip Kelly was a better play caller than Ryan Day. I mean, in the playoff, he was, man. You're not wrong, John Q. Mm-hmm. You're not. Nittany Nation, could PSU have the best tight end room in all of college football next year? I mean, probably. You don't see almost every year. Yes, I'm sure you do. All right.
It's like
what do you
want
Iowa. Me to say? It's
yeah.
like you guys have a factory of tight ends, and they come out of a machine you have in Beaver Stadium. That's what it's like with Penn State and tight ends. You're like Iowa on steroids when it comes to tight ends.
It's true.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. David says, as an IU fan, my tank is full. Yeah, exactly. Good way to put it, David. My tank is full. It can't get any better than it is. So if it does get better, okay, throw another party then.
Yep.
That's what I say. Like, have a good time. But even if you lose to Oregon, the ride, I mean, it's the ride of a lifetime. Like, I hope you all are enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, like, Indiana is the biggest, most like decadent ice cream sundae that you can think of, and the only thing it's missing is like the cherry on the top, but like so like visually it looks perfect, but somehow that cherry is just missing the stem, so it's not totally picturesque, but it's still there.
It's still really good to eat. Yeah. I hear you.
Or maybe like a couple sprinkles are out of place, but like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's amazing.
And honestly, Indiana will you'll probably beat Oregon. Cignetti's a wizard. He's a human wizard.
I know.
Like Dan Lanning's great, man, but he's not Cignetti when it comes to coaching.
I don't see Indiana losing to anybody right now. I don't think.
I'm done picking against the Hoosiers. I said that a couple podcasts ago. I said I'm done picking. I picked against them twice, Oregon and Ohio State, and I was embarrassed both. Oregon and Ohio State, and I was embarrassed both times. So I am not picking against the Hoosiers again this year. I'm not doing it.
The only team that I could see upsetting Indiana is Oregon.
Oregon.
Ole Miss and Miami. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. I mean, Miami's really good. I will say that. But, do I think Mario Cristobal can outcoach Curt Cignetti? Not in 100 years. Not ever, not ever, not ever, not ever.
Nope.
So yeah. Nittany Nation, something that happens only once every 35 years. Dude, it's something that happens never, ever, ever. This is like a supernova. This is like I don't even know. This is like we found out about the multiverse. This is like in 2017 when the New York Times was like, well, it looks like there's aliens now. There's a bunch of UFOs. And we were all like, oh man, we thought there were aliens. And it was crazy. And that's what this is like when we found out that there were aliens. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. There's not going to be another ride like it ever again.
Not in college football. No, I don't think so.
Kurt Cignetti has a quarter of IU's all-time bowl wins since Super Dom. He can get up to half. He certainly can. And John Q, the IU miracle is one of the greatest stories in sports history. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And that's why I say Kurt Cignetti is not just the greatest coach in college football right now. I think he's the greatest coach in the modern history of college football, full stop.
Well, did you see the interview with Kurt Cignetti at the end of the Rose Bowl? And I can't remember exactly the question.
Should we transition and talk about the Rose Bowl now? Have we talked enough about Ohio State?
Let's do it. I just want to say this one thing since we're just on the IU miracle is one of the, because like the movie The Miracle, right? They made a movie. There should have been a movie. That whole thing, that whole scenario in the 1980 Olympics was it was a movie that happened, and then they made it into one, and it was incredible. Yeah. And Kurt Cignetti said in the post game interview or whatever when somebody asked him, I don't know who it was, asked him about it, and he just in his response about like how did you do it, and his whole thing. Maybe I'm not directly quoting it, but it'll make one heck of a movie and. Something like that, and it was.
I think he said like, hell of a movie,
sure. But like it is, man. This is a movie. This doesn't.
No, it's not. Movies are believable, John. Movies are believable. This isn't believable. Are you kidding me? Indiana has the 72nd recruiting composite on their roster, and they're about to potentially win a national title. This isn't even fathomable. If you tried to sell this in Hollywood, they'd laugh you out of the town. We'd laugh you out and be like, yeah, right. But anyway, in the movie, I think Kurt Cignetti, all right, you ready for this? Sam Rockwell. What do you think?
Oh, totally. Yes.
Right.
I like that.
He's kind of a little grizzled in the same way and looks like he's been through the ringer, but he's like gritty and he can he's kind of a chameleon. And I feel like he could crush the mannerisms.
But then like with an underlying, like there's almost like because Kurt Cignetti doesn't smile.
No,
he looks mad as much as they're winning. He looks like he's angry.
He smiles when the game's over, but only when it's over.
But he also makes really funny little remarks and smart ass remarks in there that like are because he's so dry. And I think Sam Rockwell could pull that off really, really
And he
well.
looks like the Grinch. Cignetti does on the sideline. He looks like the Grinch.
Yeah. So anyway,
awesome.
Here we go. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about
and as for Ohio State, look, you're Ohio State. You have most things figured out. You need a new offensive coordinator who's good, and you need an offensive line that's better than it is.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's about it.
And you can do that.
And you can do that. You're Ohio State. So you'll be back with another chance to win a national title this year.
Yeah.
And I saw you, man. I saw you. I'm not going to say your name, but I saw you wishing for Coy Parrish and your Ohio State Big Ten podcast. Like, I'm just not even, dude. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. And Ohio State's not even going after him. So Schadenfreude on that. And you know what? I'm glad you lost to Indiana. I am. I'm not going to say I'm glad you lost to Miami because I'm not, but I'm glad you lost to Indiana. I'm going to say that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's talk about the Rose Bowl, dude. This wasn't, I texted you in the first half and I said, it's early yet, but so far this isn't a football game. This is like a public beating.
Go on. No, I mean, dude, I'm just looking at the stats right now, and this is a humiliation on such an egregious level.
I mean, it was the worst Alabama loss, I think, since 1996 or 98, points wise.
I mean, statistics. We'll get to that, but anyway, go ahead.
No, let's get to it. It was absolutely lopsided. It was the number 1 ranked Indiana 14-0 Indiana Hoosiers 38, the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide 3, and it wasn't that close. Indiana had 407 yards to 103 for Alabama. Alabama had 23 yards rushing, 23 on 17 carries for 1.4 yards for rush. Indiana had 215 yards rushing. Boom. Alabama only had 1 turnover, but it didn't matter. Indiana had the time of possession, 35 minutes almost to 25. Went 9 of 14 on third down. By the way, Alabama, 3 of 11 on third down and 0 for 2 on fourth down. I mean, this was... It wasn't a football game, John. It was a coronation.
And your leading rusher was...
Crown the Indiana Hoosiers. It was a coronation.
Dude, Alabama's leading rusher was Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
For 17...
23 yards. 23 yards.
I mean, I never in a million years... Again, not unrealistic movie here. We're talking about Alabama, which has dominated college football for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And we are now seeing the historically worst team in like, you know, FBS D1 level here. Like
at the major college football level, yeah.
Come out and destroy one of the most historic college football juggernauts of all time. Humiliate them.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody told me that was going to happen 2 years ago, I would have laughed in your face.
Oh, right after Tom Allen got fired? I mean, look, I knew Cignetti was a good hire, man, but I thought he was like an 8-4 good hire, not like I'm a wizard and I'm going to beat everyone in the league good hire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's the greatest college football hire of all time.
Easily.
Like, it's bananas.
Yeah.
I had someone on Twitter trying to argue with me that Saban's record is more impressive, and I was like, no.
Mm-mm.
Because Nick Saban couldn't do what Kurt Cignetti could have done what Nick Saban did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Nick Saban could never do what Kurt Cignetti's done. Because he didn't. Because if he could have, he would have at Michigan State.
Yep.
And he couldn't do it.
Yep. Yeah, man.
There
are no words. Or any more words, I guess. I don't know. It's insane.
Dude, Elijah Serrato. If you had told me Elijah Serrato only had 40 yards receiving, I would have said Indiana lost.
Dude, Charlie Becker, man, came out of the woodwork.
But nope, but it was a team effort, man. 51 yards for Becker, 45 for Cooper, 40 for Surratt, 36 for Nowakowski. Okay. Like, it was just a team effort throughout. Like, Mendoza spread the ball around.
Yeah.
They didn't know who he was going to. And they just ran the ball a lot, and they ran it really well. And Cignetti somehow managed to hit on all of his portal offensive and defensive linemen. He hit on all of them. What else do you say? They're the Rose Bowl champs.
I just this is like cheating in a video game.
Yes.
And I don't know, like where you can where
you don't know how to reset the game.
Well, in like the NCAA 14, you could actually go in and manipulate player stats, and how good they were.
Oh, interesting.
And this is like Cignetti went into each player and just put them all to 99.
Yeah.
And just that's what he did. He just I
don't know. It is a
senior-led
team.
It is.
Helps, but they're all really talented seniors. A lot of these guys are going to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And it looks like Cignetti's next quarterback is not going to, because Cignetti doesn't really develop his own quarterbacks, which is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least he hasn't yet. I'm not saying he can't. He can walk on water at this point. But I guess it's going to be Josh Hoover from TCU.
Okay.
So I just assume that he's going to be a Heisman finalist next year. I'll just assume that.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's get caught up in the chat real quick. We've got David saying the eclipse a few years ago put Bloomington on the path of totality. Think about that. I mean, clearly it did. Great eclipse. Nittany Nation Mish, PSU player played their best game all year at home and still lost, which is insane to me. Yes, you did. Penn State played lights out against Indiana and it still wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Still wasn't good enough. John Q, seeing Mars in the sky once every century. Yeah, dude, that's what the Indiana thing is. And yes, you knew when you saw Mendoza, you were going to get it done. Absolutely. That's so true. And yes, David, you are correct. During the COVID year, Indiana was a top 10 team for a minute with with Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's true. Indiana has had its moments in history. I'm not saying they've been the worst team every year, but over the totality of history, it mostly hasn't gone well until Cignetti. And now it's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah. Penn State's offering some guys, says Nittany Nation, that in the portal just because Indiana offered them. Yeah, I don't blame you for doing that at all. If I were a head coach, I would just look at the guys Signetti wants the most, and then I would try to recruit them too. Why not? Might as well. And he's gonna have to get used to that happening with all the guys he offers. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this Indiana team, John. I'm out of superlatives. They run the ball, they throw the ball, they stop the run, they stop the pass. They play great special teams. They play poised in big moments. They're really good in the red zone on defense. They make it hard. You know, they're really tough on both lines of scrimmage. There's just not okay. Oregon, the flaw is the consistency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing with Oregon. Are they consistent enough to win a national title? Like we saw them, fall off in the running game against Texas Tech, have the problems against Indiana earlier this year, all that kind of stuff. Miami is not like, once you get past Malachi Toney, they don't scare you at the and Fletcher, the running back. They don't scare you at the skill positions on offense. Like they're tough. They have a good offensive line. They run the ball. They throw it okay, but they're not like an Ohio State or an Oregon weapons wise,
or like the depth either.
Yes, they don't have that kind of depth.
Yep.
Ole Miss, the defense they have their moments, but they're not great. They're not great for a championship level team. They're actually way below average.
Yeah.
So Indiana is the most complete team left, and it's not. So that doesn't mean that they're going to beat Oregon for sure, but I'm going to pick them to beat Oregon.
Same.
Yeah.
Especially if Dante Moore is dinged up. Like, I think that their chances are pretty high. So
yes. Nittany Nation says they also don't turn the ball over. It's true. Indiana also doesn't turn and Mendoza, man, he's like, Kirk Herbstreit called him a baby giraffe running out there, and I think that's unfair. I think he looks really good running.
Mm-hmm.
He's really athletic, and he's 6'5", so he's faster than you think he is.
And also, who cares what he looks like running? Yeah. He's mobile and he gets it done, and he can find his way through some of those holes and get to the close, if not get a first down. Which he did multiple, at least on a couple occasions in this game. So yeah, man. I don't know what else to say. Indiana looks like the clear favorite. And they're now my pick to win it all, which is again
crazy.
I can't believe it. Like
I mean, I said as soon as they beat Ohio State, I was like, I have to pick them to win it all. That's the way it is.
Like, what a ride for Hoosier fans, man. Like, I
was with a bunch of them yesterday, and I was just happy for them, and the vibe was so good. And I won't say who, but one of the Hoosier fans I was with was like getting upset and like worried when they were up 17-0, and I was like, these are the good times. Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for everybody in college football, because like, enjoy the good times, because there's no point in making yourself miserable over something you love.
Yep.
Like, find a way to enjoy it while it's happening, because if you can't, then what's the point? What's the point of any of this if you can't have fun with it?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Anyway, any other thoughts before we get out of here? We got a little long.
No, I think that's about it. Overall, Big Ten is dominating, and that's what we assumed was going to happen. And it looks like, as of right now, not saying it's going to, but as of right now, it looks like the Big Ten should, not that they will, should bring home another title. So
unless Miami gets hot,
which could happen, and that's my only
Miami, because Ole Miss isn't going to win it, but Miami could.
No. Yeah, I think Miami's the one that's to beat. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm still picking.
No, I'm picking the winner of Indiana, Oregon to win it.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just saying that I don't think it's a sure thing you beat Miami.
No. I don't think so either, but I think they should. I think by all rights, at least the way I see it now, it should be a Big Ten team. But
for sure.
Yes, Miami.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for rocking with us. We had, a lot of people in and out of the chat. We really appreciate it. Hope you're all having a good, Happy New Year once again. I hope you all had great holiday seasons. And, I like to extend the holidays a little bit, not let them go. Traditionally there were 12 days of Christmas. So I like to really enjoy as many days as I can and consider them holiday days if I don't have, when I don't have to be working or anything like that. So thank you all so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. And we will be back. We'll do a preview of the before we'll do a preview before Oregon and Indiana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? We'll even talk a little bit in the Peach Bowl. And you know what? We'll even talk a little bit about we'll talk a little bit about Miami and Ole Miss too.
Yeah, well, there'll be probably some portal news at that point too.
Oh, there'll be portal news, there'll be coaching news. There's gonna be lots to talk about.
Yep. So we'll be there.
Awesome. Anything, John? Any last words before we go?
You want to find We Live for Saturday? You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podcast Addict. You can find us on Twitter at We Live for B1GSat. You can find Mike at Alibaba26. You can find me, John, at Norwegian Gopher, and you can email us, We Live for Saturday, b1g@gmail.com. Please like, subscribe, follow, tweet, retweet, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it, especially here on YouTube. Thanks.
Yes, appreciate it. Follow, get other people to subscribe. It is the season of giving, so if you can give us more subscriptions, we already love you. We'll love you even more. Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll talk to all of you in the next one, and I hope that everyone is having a safe and happy new year.